Welcome back to Kids Life. We are in the middle of our series, Unbelievable, where we are looking at some of the hardest to believe things that Jesus did, miracles. But you can trust in them because Jesus is still doing miracles today. But today, I want to talk to you about something really important, okay? It's really, really important, and that is footprints. Footprints? Did he just say footprints? Yeah, I said footprints. Footprints are evidence of something that was there before. When you see footprints in the snow, you can tell if an animal or a person was there. Maybe you see some little hoof-shaped prints, then you know there was a deer walking by, or maybe you see these little tiny ones with little claws and you know it was a rabbit hopping by. When you see a footprint, you know that someone was there. Now imagine if you were walking through a forest and all of a sudden you saw a human footprint, but it was 10 times the size of a normal human footprint. You'd be pretty scared, wouldn't you? You'd probably think you might have just stumbled across a Bigfoot footprint. Now, when people go on a Bigfoot hunt, the first clue that they look for is footprints. So let's go on a footprint hunt together. Okay, keep count as a bunch of footprints are about to go flying across the screen. Ready? Here they go. How many did you count? Now, I'll tell you guys later if you were right, okay? I'll tell you later, but not right now. So for people who are hunting Bigfoot, they see these footprints as evidence that he's out there somewhere. But did you know that God has actually put his footprints all over creation so that we could know that he truly does exist? Here are some examples. The beauty of a sunset, a Bible verse that speaks to you, the fact that you have a family that loves you, your home, the church that you're in right now here at One Life, beautiful weather, or just protection when you're afraid, or maybe you have some pets that you really love. All of these things show us the truth that God cares about us. And another way he shows that he cares is by providing for us. And that's this week's big idea, that Jesus can provide for our needs. Now, this month, we're learning about some of the unbelievable but true miracles of Jesus. Miracles are things, remember, that only God can do. And today's story is no different. We're going to see a great miracle that Jesus did. Now, I'm going to tell you this story, and it's found in the Gospel of Matthew, and it shows how Jesus can provide for our needs. So Jesus had just heard some pretty sad news that one of his friends had died. So he got on a boat, and he was going to sail off to a quiet place all alone and just spend some time with God. But when the people found out where Jesus was headed, instead of letting him have some time alone, this huge crowd came to him so that he could teach and heal them. Now, Jesus was mourning. He was sad and he wanted to be alone, but these people just kept coming to him. Do you think he got really annoyed and yelled at them to leave him alone? I don't know. I might have done that if I was in his situation, but not Jesus. Instead of sending these people away, Jesus decided to take care of them. He taught them and he healed them all day long until it was dinner time and their tummies started grumbling and they were hungry. But remember, Jesus went off to this place to be all alone. He wasn't anywhere near a town where they could just go and grab some Chick-fil-A, and they couldn't order a pizza for delivery from Domino's or Pizza Hut. They didn't have those things. So what was Jesus to do? What did he do? Well, he told the disciples that they should feed the people. And the disciples were like, how can we feed all of these people? There were 5,000 men there, and that doesn't even include all of the women and children who were there. There were probably at least 15,000 people, maybe more, that were there. To help you guys get an understanding of that, have you ever been to a Charlotte Hornets game in that Spectrum Center? If you've been there maybe for a game or for a concert where they play at that basketball court, that's about how many people could fit in that auditorium, is how many people were there for Jesus to heal and to teach. And these people were now all hungry. Could you imagine looking around and trying to feed all of these people? But Jesus took a small amount of food that he had, which was only 5 loaves of bread and 2 small fish, and he gave thanks for them, and he broke them. And then he told the disciples to hand it out to these 15,000 people. And guess what? They never ran out. They had enough food for everyone, and everyone ate and was satisfied. Jesus cared about the hungry people in this story, and he cares about hungry people today. Just like God provided for this group of people, he cares for and provides for us today too. We can thank God for everything we have, because everything we have is from him. And this story, it shows that Jesus can provide for our needs. But it wasn't even just about feeding these people one meal on one day. But Jesus was actually pointing them towards something that he would do in the future. See, during the Last Supper, just before Jesus was crucified, he was with his disciples, and he would again break bread and he would give it to them. And when he was doing this, he was saying that this bread was broken in the same way that his body would be broken for us. And through his death on the cross, Jesus would provide for us our biggest need, a Savior who could give us a right relationship with God. And this is the biggest and most important way that Jesus could ever show that he wants to provide for our needs. So what can you do today? What does it change to know that Jesus can provide for our needs? Well, maybe you feel like you are in need. And if that's you, then you can pray and you can ask God to provide for you. Remember, these people in the story, they came to Jesus looking for him first, and they knew that they had a need, whether it was to learn or to be healed or eventually to be fed. And while Jesus may not always provide for you in the way that you want or the way that you expect, I trust that God is always at work in us and through us. And maybe you feel like you have all you need. You have a warm house, you have food, you have people who love you and care about you. Well, then you can be like the disciples in this story who helped distribute the food. If you have more than you need, you can share and be generous. If you see someone in need, you can help and use what God has given you to help others. The disciples didn't just keep the bread for themselves, but they also trusted that there would be enough, that as they kept handing it out to the people who were hungry, that there would continue to be enough food. And in fact, in the end, there were 12 baskets left over, enough of one basket for each disciple. Jesus works in us and through us to live out his plans. And just like those Bigfoot feet, if you look around, you will see times over and over again how Jesus can provide for your needs. Thank you so much for listening today. I'll see you later.